Today, I want to tell you something that might change the way you approach life forever. Stop begging for wealth. Yes, you heard me right. Don't plead. Don't chase. Don't fear. Declare. Because you were not born to beg for anything. You were born to command, to create, to receive. Wealth is not something far from you. It is already yours. It's waiting for you to wake up, speak with faith, and claim it. When you beg for wealth, you're operating from a consciousness of lack. Begging may not always be verbal. It can be mental, emotional, or energetic. Every time you worry about not having enough, stress over your bank account, or speak as though money is hard to come by, you're unintentionally affirming poverty. You're announcing to the universe that you are disconnected from abundance. You're not just saying, "I need money." You're saying, "I believe I don't have enough, and I'm not sure if I ever will." That belief system becomes your dominant vibration, and as spiritual law dictates what you believe, you receive. This mindset creates an invisible wall between you and prosperity. The universe doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to energy, faith, and belief. Begging, in any form, vibrates with the frequency of fear and desperation. It's like saying to God or the divine, "I'm not worthy unless you pity me. I'll plead until something finally changes." But pity is not the foundation of abundance. Power is. Trust is. Alignment is. When you beg, you're out of alignment with the truth that you were created from abundance and for abundance. Imagine standing under an open sky with a closed umbrella. Rain, symbolizing blessings, is pouring down, but your umbrella blocks it. That umbrella is your lack mindset. It doesn't matter how much rain is available. If you're closed off by fear, worry, or the belief that you must suffer or struggle to receive, you won't be able to absorb what's already around you. Many people were conditioned to think that wealth is only for a few, that they must work endlessly, sacrifice their joy, or be lucky to ever see real financial freedom. This is a lie. It's a story told for generations by those who didn't understand spiritual laws. Begging reinforces that lie. It keeps you in the narrative of separation, that you are separate from God, separate from abundance, separate from the life you desire. But wealth is not something far off in the distance. It's not hidden behind 10 locked doors. It's not for someone else but not you. Wealth is right here, right now, in the field of possibility. It lives within you. You were born with the seed of abundance in your soul. But when you beg, you're saying, "This seed doesn't exist." When you declare, you water that seed. Begging turns you into a victim of circumstances. Declaring transforms you into a co-creator of your life. There is a vast difference between hoping for a better financial future and knowing it is inevitable because you are aligned with the source of all supply. You are not helpless. You are not dependent on someone else's approval, job offer, inheritance, or even lucky break. When you beg, you give your power away. When you declare, you reclaim it. Every spiritual teacher from Florence Scovel Shinn to Neville Goddard has said the same thing in different words. You are not meant to plead for what is already yours. Ask yes, but ask with authority, ask with expectation, speak with faith. The universe is not testing you to see how long you can go without. It's waiting to see how soon you'll remember who you are. When a child asks their parent for food, they don't worry if they'll get it. They don't beg with trembling hands. They ask knowing their need will be met because they trust their source. That's how you must approach divine supply. The moment you stop begging and start declaring, something shifts, your energy shifts, your thoughts shift, and the world around you must shift in response. Wealth is not attracted to fear. It is drawn to confidence, clarity, and calm expectation. When you speak as if it's already done, it begins to move toward you. The more you affirm your abundance, even before you see evidence of it, the faster it arrives. In conclusion, begging for wealth keeps you trapped in scarcity, not because wealth is unavailable, but because your energy repels it. When you live, think, and speak from lack, you create more of the same. But when you rise up, trust your divine connection, and declare boldly, I am wealthy. Abundance flows to me freely. You become a magnet for prosperity. It's not arrogance. It's alignment. Stop begging. Start declaring. And watch as wealth finds its way to your door, not because you chased it, but because you finally believed you were worthy of receiving it. Declaring your wealth is not just about speaking positive words, it's about stepping into divine alignment. When you declare abundance with confidence and faith, you activate a powerful spiritual law, the law of assumption. You no longer see yourself as someone waiting for wealth to arrive. You begin to operate as someone who already possesses it. This inner shift in identity is what draws abundance into your life effortlessly. You don't need to chase after money, beg the universe, or plead for favor. You simply step into the knowing that wealth is your divine inheritance, and you claim it with certainty. Declarations are not ordinary words, they are spiritual commands. When spoken with belief, they realign your thoughts, emotions, and energy with the vibration of wealth. Most people speak from what they see an empty wallet, so they say they're broke. They see unpaid bills, so they declare stress. But declaration is not based on your current condition. It's based on your inner conviction. You declare wealth not because you already see it in the physical, but because you know it's already yours in the spiritual. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Speak the word, and then do not deny it." That means once you declare wealth, you don't contradict it with fear, worry, or negative speech. You hold on to your words as sacred truths. You protect them. You trust them, because they are seeds, and every seed bears fruit in its time. When you begin to declare wealth as part of your identity, your entire being shifts, your posture changes, your decisions become bolder, you carry yourself differently. You no longer accept lack as your destiny. You see it as a temporary illusion, quickly dissolving as your declaration takes root. Declaring wealth helps you tune into a higher frequency, where ideas flow, solutions arise, and divine opportunities show up unannounced. One of the most misunderstood concepts in spiritual practice is the idea that we must wait passively for divine timing. While timing is important, declaration is how we prepare for that timing. It's how we demonstrate our faith. Begging delays the blessing because it says, I don't believe I'm ready or worthy. Declaration, however, says, I am ready. I am worthy. I receive it now. And when the universe sees that kind of energy, it cannot help but respond. Think of declaration as setting a spiritual GPS. When you say, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am aligned with abundance, you give your subconscious mind and the divine realm a clear destination. Without that clarity, you wander in circles, second, guessing yourself and attracting confusion. But with declaration, you lock into a vision and allow unseen forces to guide you to it. Moreover, declaration builds inner confidence. Each time you speak words of abundance, you are reprogramming your mind to expect success instead of failure. You are training yourself to trust in divine supply rather than human limitation. That trust is what opens doors. That faith is what removes obstacles. And that mindset is what keeps you steady, even when results take time to appear. You must understand that wealth is not about luck or hard work alone. It's about alignment. Many people work endlessly and still feel broke, while others speak in faith, act with purpose, and attract wealth with ease. Why? Because they have learned to declare their truth and live from that place. They no longer wait to feel rich. They feel rich first, and the riches follow. Declaration also invites divine cooperation. When you speak wealth into existence, angels move. Circumstances begin to shift. People are drawn to help you. Ideas are birthed. The universe rearranges itself to match your spoken word. This is not just motivational language. This is spiritual law. The power of life and death is in the tongue. Speak life, and life responds. Speak wealth, and wealth listens. In conclusion, declaring your wealth places you in perfect alignment with divine abundance. It's not wishful thinking, it's a conscious act of creation. You are not here to beg for what your soul already possesses. You are here to call it forth boldly and without apology. When you declare, "I am wealthy," you're not lying, you're awakening to a higher truth. So speak with confidence, stand in your divine identity, declare your abundance daily, and allow wealth to recognize your voice, find your spirit, and flow to you with grace. Your words are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. They are not just sounds you make with your mouth. They are spiritual tools, creative instruments that shape your reality. What you speak consistently, with feeling and belief, becomes the framework of your life. This is not just philosophy, it is a spiritual law echoed by ancient scriptures, metaphysical teachings, and modern spiritual thinkers alike. When you understand the creative power of your words, you stop speaking carelessly, and you start declaring with purpose. Florence Scovel Shinn famously said, "Your word is your wand." She didn't mean that as a metaphor. She meant that your spoken word is quite literally a tool that commands energy. If you go around saying things like, "I never have enough money," or "money doesn't come easily to me," then that's exactly what your life will reflect. Your outer world is nothing more than a mirror of your inner dialogue. Speak lack, and you'll live lack. Speak abundance, and you'll experience abundance. This is how spiritual law works. It doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you speak with conviction. Too many people use their words against themselves without even realizing it. They complain. They worry out loud, they repeat negative stories about their finances, and then wonder why nothing changes. But words are seeds, and like any seed, when planted repeatedly, they grow into form. If you keep planting the seed of lack, struggle, and limitation, the garden of your life will reflect it. But if you begin to plant words like, "I am wealthy," "Money flows to me easily," and "I am aligned with abundance," you will begin to see new fruits appear, opportunities, ideas favor unexpected income, and peace of mind. Words are not neutral, they carry vibration. They either lift your energy or lower it. They either invite abundance or block it. And they don't have to be dramatic to be destructive. Even casual statements like, "I can't afford that," or "That's too expensive for me," are affirmations of limitation. Instead, what if you trained yourself to say, "That's not in my current flow, but I'm open to receiving more," or "I choose to wait for divine timing"? This kind of language keeps your spirit open and your vibration high. Affirmations are one of the most effective ways to begin transforming your relationship with money. But an affirmation is not just a nice phrase, it's a declaration with spiritual authority. When you repeat it with belief and emotion, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is what drives 95% of your decisions, habits, and financial outcomes. You don't have to fight your old beliefs forever. You just have to speak new ones long enough, and with enough emotion that they begin to take root and crowd out the old. One of the keys to successful declaration is consistency. You can't declare abundance once or twice and expect immediate transformation. Just as you wouldn't water a plant once and expect it to grow overnight, you must continually water your new beliefs with spoken words. This daily discipline changes your identity, and once your identity shifts, your entire reality follows. Another critical aspect is emotional alignment. Words spoken without belief have little power, but words spoken with passion, with faith, with a sense of knowing, those words move mountains. You must feel your declaration. You must believe it is true, even if your current reality says otherwise. That's the essence of faith. Faith is not believing what you can already see, it is believing so strongly in the unseen that the seen must rearrange to match it. In conclusion, your words are not random. They are the builders of your destiny. Every time you speak, you are either calling in more wealth or pushing it away. You are either affirming your spiritual inheritance or denying it. Once you recognize this, you'll stop speaking out of fear and start speaking from faith. Begin to speak abundance deliberately. Make it your language. Make it your daily practice. Let every sentence be soaked in confidence and expectancy. Say it until you believe it, and then keep saying it until you become it. Your wealth is already within you. Your words are the key that unlocks it. Speak wisely, speak powerfully, speak richly, and watch as your world transforms in response. Faith is the invisible bridge between your desire and its manifestation. It is the spiritual currency through which all things, especially wealth, flow. When you rely on effort alone, when you try to chase or force wealth into your life without faith, you operate from a limited, human perspective. But when you move with unwavering faith, you tap into the unlimited supply of the divine. Wealth, then, is no longer something distant or difficult. It becomes a natural expression of your inner belief system. Faith is what activates the unseen. It is the energy that unlocks blessings that have your name on them. Many people think wealth comes only through hustle, struggle, and constant doing. While action has its place, action without faith is often wasted energy. You can work all day and still feel stuck if your inner belief is rooted in scarcity. You can apply to jobs, start businesses, and plan endlessly. But if deep down you believe you're unworthy or that money is hard to get, then your actions will reflect that energy, and the results will mirror it. That's because the universe is not responding to your business. It's responding to your belief, and your belief must be grounded in faith, not fear. Faith is not passive. It is not hoping or wishing. Faith is an active force. It is declaring, affirming, and trusting, even when nothing around you gives you a reason to. It's saying, I am wealthy. Even when your bank account is empty. It's saying, I attract abundance, even when your circumstances seem dry. This isn't denial, it's spiritual vision. It's choosing to believe the invisible before the visible catches up. Florence Scovel Shinn described faith as the ability to speak the word and then not look back. That means you declare your wealth, your prosperity, your divine supply, and then you hold that vibration regardless of what the outside world is showing you. Faith doesn't flinch at delay. It doesn't panic when results don't come instantly. Faith says, it is done, and leaves the how and when to divine order. This kind of trust opens the flow of wealth in ways you could never calculate or plan. Fear, on the other hand, blocks the flow. Fear creates resistance. It leads to decisions made from panic, to opportunities missed, and to cycles of lack that repeat over and over. Fear says, what if I don't have enough? Faith says, I always have more than enough. Fear says, I must hold tightly to what I have. Faith says, as I give, I receive tenfold. When you choose faith, you shift into abundance consciousness. You begin to live with a sense of expectancy instead of anxiety, and that expectancy becomes a magnet for wealth. Another truth about faith is that it requires inner stillness. You cannot have faith and be in constant inner chaos. You must make room in your heart and mind to receive. If you are full of worry, doubt, and fear, there is no space for divine ideas, inspiration, or unexpected blessings to reach you. Faith quiets the noise. It silences the mental chatter that tells you you're behind or not good enough. It helps you to listen to your higher self, where divine guidance always speaks in the language of peace. Wealth flows more easily to those who trust the process. If you're always trying to figure everything out, micromanage outcomes, or control timing, you're closing the door to miracles. Faith says, even if I don't know how, I trust it's already on the way. This surrender is not weakness. It is powerful alignment. It means you understand that you are co-creating with the divine, and your job is to stay in belief, to follow inspired action, and to rest in the assurance that all things are working together for your good. Faith is also contagious. When you operate in faith, others feel it. You radiate confidence, trust, and clarity. This kind of energy opens doors, attracts supporters, and draws divine connections that money alone cannot buy. When you truly believe in your wealth, others begin to believe in it too. Opportunities find you. Resources come. Your environment shifts to reflect your internal transformation. And finally, faith creates consistency. When you rely only on external results to feel secure, your emotions rise and fall with every win or loss. But faith gives you a steady foundation. It anchors you. It keeps you moving forward when nothing seems to be happening. It keeps you declaring, affirming, and showing up with excellence. And eventually, the physical world must align with the spiritual truth you've been standing on. In conclusion, wealth is not something you earn solely through effort. It is something you attract through faith-based alignment. Faith is the channel through which divine abundance flows. It is not mere optimism. It is spiritual authority. When you live by faith, speak by faith, and act by faith, you become a living magnet for wealth. You move in sync with divine timing, and you open yourself to provision that surpasses your natural means. Don't let fear guide your decisions. Let faith lead. Declare your abundance. Trust the process, and walk as though it is already yours, because in truth it is. Desire alone is not enough to attract wealth. You may wish for money, dream of success, and even pray for financial breakthroughs, but if your inner state remains rooted in fear, scarcity, or doubt, the wealth you seek will stay just out of reach. The truth is simple yet profound. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner vibration. If you want to attract wealth, you must first become wealth in your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and energy. You must embody abundance before it can manifest in your reality. This means that wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. And allowance comes through inner alignment. If your mind is consumed with thoughts like, "I'll never make enough," or "money is so hard to get," then even the best strategies, jobs, or opportunities will slip through your fingers. Because your subconscious beliefs act like filters, they either permit wealth to flow or block it entirely. To attract what you desire, you must become the version of yourself who already has it. What does a wealthy person believe about money? How do they carry themselves? How do they speak? How do they make decisions? You need to study that mindset and adopt it, not in arrogance, but in energetic preparation. You must show the universe that you are already aligned with wealth. Even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet, one of the key shifts to make is moving from a mindset of getting to a mindset of being. When you are constantly trying to get something, you reinforce the idea that you don't already have it. But when you begin to be abundance, to think abundantly, to give generously, to speak prosperously, you send a different message to the universe. You signal that you are ready to receive. You are vibrating at the level of what you desire, and by spiritual law, it must be drawn to you. This is why some people, who seem to do very little in terms of effort, attract wealth easily, while others who work hard struggle to see results. It's not about how hard you work, it's about how aligned you are. Effort is important, but energy is everything. If your energy is rooted in self-doubt, fear of loss, or unworthiness, then your work becomes heavy, and the results become delayed or limited. But if your energy is grounded in certainty, gratitude, joy, and expectation, then your actions become powerful magnets for prosperity. Embodiment is also about making decisions as if you are already wealthy. This doesn't mean spending recklessly. It means thinking wisely. A person who knows abundance is their nature doesn't panic when a bill arrives or an unexpected expense comes up. They remain calm, knowing that supply is on the way. They make investments in themselves with trust. They don't hoard, they circulate. They live with a sense of security, not because of what's in their account, but because of what's in their spirit. Visualization is a powerful tool to help you embody wealth. When you close your eyes and see yourself living abundantly, when you feel the emotions of financial freedom and stability, you're training your mind and body to live from that future. And the subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's real. It begins to rewire itself based on that vision. Your behaviors shift, your thoughts elevate, and your reality soon follows. Another important aspect of becoming what you want to attract is your language. Words carry frequency. Speak as someone who lives in overflow, not as someone always trying to catch up. Replace statements like, "I'm broke," or "I can't afford that," with, "I'm choosing to prioritize differently right now," or "I'm opening to greater wealth every day." Your words must reflect the abundance you want to experience. Speak from the place you're going, not from the place you're leaving. Additionally, check the emotional energy behind your desires. Are you chasing wealth out of fear or out of purpose? Fear-based desires often lead to frustration because they are fueled by lack, but purpose-based desires align with divine flow and often come with greater ease. When your desire for wealth is connected to something meaningful, like serving others, building a legacy, or living fully, your vibration rises, and the universe conspires to support you. In conclusion, wealth is not something you magically stumble upon or wait years to discover. It is something you attract by becoming its reflection. You must embody abundance before it can appear in your external world. Shift your mindset. Elevate your emotions. Speak as though it's already yours. Visualize your future self and align your present choices with that version of you. Stop trying to get rich from the outside in and start becoming wealthy from the inside out. Because the truth is this: the wealth you desire is not outside of you. It is waiting for you to become it. And when you do, it has no choice but to show up. Begging is rooted in fear, but declaration is anchored in power and trust. When you beg for anything, especially wealth, you are subconsciously affirming that you don't have it and are unsure if you ever will. It creates a cycle of fear, doubt, and dependency. That energy sends a message to the universe: I am not whole, I lack, I'm desperate. And since the universe mirrors back what you energetically radiate, what you receive is more lack, more struggle, and more uncertainty. But the moment you switch from begging to declaring, everything begins to change. You no longer operate as someone in need. You step into your divine authority as someone who is aligned with abundance. Declaration releases resistance because it's not about needing, it's about knowing. It's not about asking anxiously, it's about affirming boldly. When you declare your wealth, you're saying, I trust the process, I believe in divine timing, I already have it spiritually, and I know it's making its way to me physically. That kind of faith breaks the chains of fear and opens the door to flow. Resistance comes from fear of the unknown, from trying to control every outcome, from doubting your worth or worrying about how and when things will happen. But declaration takes your focus off the problem and places it on the solution. It stops you from panicking and trains you to rest in divine confidence. Think of the energy that begging carries. It's tight, heavy, and filled with pressure. It's like trying to breathe through a straw. You're always gasping, striving, and reaching. Now think of the energy of declaration. It's light, open, expansive. It's breathing deeply and knowing you're supported by an unseen force that never fails. When you move into the space of declaring your abundance, you let go of needing to know the details. You stop trying to force results and instead align yourself with the natural flow of abundance. Releasing resistance is one of the most important steps in attracting wealth. You may be visualizing, affirming, even taking inspired action, but if deep down you're still holding onto fear, guilt, or anxiety, those emotions act as blocks. They interfere with the very blessings you've been calling in. But when you declare from a place of peace, you soften your energy. You allow. You surrender, not in weakness, but in strength. You hand over the burden and trust that what you seek is already seeking you. Declaration also rewires your nervous system. When you speak positive, faith-filled words, especially during moments of uncertainty, your brain and body begin to shift, your stress levels drop, your confidence rises, you move from survival mode to creation mode. And when your energy rises, so does your capacity to receive. You start to attract better ideas, more aligned people, and unexpected opportunities. Not because you're chasing them, but because your frequency has become magnetic to them. In moments when your financial situation looks bleak, the natural reaction might be fear or worry. But what if you responded with a declaration instead? What if you said, "Even now I am wealthy. Even now things are working in my favor. Even now provision is on the way." These words do more than sound good. They shift your inner chemistry. They elevate your vibration. They align you with the energy of solution rather than the energy of the problem. Every time you declare, you are not just speaking, you are clearing. You are removing resistance from your mind, your heart, and your energy field. You are replacing fear with faith, doubt with knowing, anxiety with confidence. That shift is what creates room for wealth to flow into your life. The universe cannot pour into a vessel that's already full of fear. But when you empty that fear through powerful declarations, you create space, and in that space, miracles can land. This practice doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you choose a higher truth. You may not see the money yet, but you believe it's already yours. You may not know how the bill will get paid, but you trust the supply is on its way. That level of trust, that choice to declare instead of doubt, is what turns things around. It doesn't always happen overnight, but it always begins with a shift in mindset and a commitment to speak life, not lack. In conclusion, declaration is a spiritual weapon against fear, worry, and resistance. It breaks the pattern of begging and empowers you to live from your divine identity. When you declare wealth, you tell the universe, "I am ready to receive." You free yourself from the chains of fear and step into a vibration that is open, aligned, and powerful. Resistance may have blocked your blessings in the past, but now you know the key: let go of control, stop pleading, and start proclaiming. Say it with faith, say it with authority, say it until every cell in your body believes it. And soon, what you've been declaring will no longer be a hope. It will be your reality. Wealth is often misunderstood as just having money or material possessions. But in truth, wealth is a state of being, a vibration, a mindset, and a spiritual frequency that flows through every area of your life. If you define wealth only by the size of your bank account, you're missing the deeper meaning of abundance. Wealth includes peace of mind, healthy relationships, joy, purpose, freedom, and alignment with your higher self. When you begin to understand wealth in this holistic way, your relationship with money transforms. You stop chasing money as a goal, and you start becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. When people focus solely on financial gain, they often become anxious, competitive, or obsessive. This narrow focus can cause emotional burnout, spiritual disconnection, and a deep feeling of emptiness. Even if financial success eventually comes, that's because money in isolation cannot satisfy the soul. But when you see wealth as a whole, life experience, you begin to understand that inner richness creates outer results. Your energy, your mindset, your habits, and your spiritual alignment are the true roots of prosperity. Spiritual wealth is the foundation of lasting abundance. When your soul is aligned, when your thoughts are grounded in truth, and your heart is at peace, you become a magnet for all forms of blessings. You radiate clarity, confidence, and calmness, qualities that open doors and attract opportunities effortlessly. Money is no longer something you must force into your life. it becomes a byproduct of the abundant energy you're already living in. You don't just have wealth, you are wealth. This inner wealth shapes how you approach the world. You make decisions with wisdom, not fear. You give generously without worrying about losing. You speak with conviction, not insecurity. You walk with purpose, not confusion. Because you know that abundance is not something you need to go get. It's something that flows from within you. And when that shift happens, everything changes. You stop trying to manipulate circumstances and start trusting the flow of life. True wealth also means emotional freedom. It's the ability to feel content, grateful, and fulfilled regardless of what's happening outside of you. You no longer tie your happiness to income, possessions, or recognition. You are grounded in your own spiritual truth, and that truth becomes your source of joy. When you reach this level of wealth, your sense of self is no longer defined by money. It's defined by purpose and alignment. Ironically, this detachment from money often results in attracting even more of it, because your energy is clean, open, and non-resistant. Wealth as a state of being also means taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. You value your time. You protect your energy. You nourish your creativity. You listen to your intuition. These actions are not luxuries. They are expressions of inner wealth. The more you honor yourself, the more life reflects that honor back to you in the form of money, opportunities, favor, and support. Your outer world begins to mirror the richness you've cultivated inside. Another key aspect of this higher understanding of wealth is living in alignment with your purpose. When you operate from purpose, your work becomes meaningful. You're not just earning, you're contributing, creating, and expressing. And people are drawn to that kind of energy. Money follows those who are in purpose because purpose creates value. And where there's value, there's always wealth. You don't have to force people to support you. When you're walking in your truth, they'll feel your authenticity and respond to it. When you embody this full spectrum wealth, you naturally create financial abundance, but not from a place of fear or desperation. It flows to you through your creativity, your service, your alignment, and your intention. You may still work hard, but the work feels lighter, more inspired. You may still face challenges, but you meet them with strength and faith, not panic and pressure. Your wealth journey becomes an extension of your spiritual path, not a distraction from it. In conclusion, wealth is not just money, it is a state of being. When you embrace this truth, you open yourself to a much deeper and more sustainable form of abundance. Money, peace, joy, purpose, and love are all connected. By becoming emotionally, mentally, and spiritually rich, you create the conditions for financial riches to flow with ease. Don't limit yourself to chasing currency. Build a wealthy spirit, a peaceful mind, and a life that feels abundant in every way. Speak like you're rich, think like you're rich, live like you're rich in wisdom, in peace, in purpose, and soon, your finances will align with the wealth you've already become.